Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my good friend in the building, Donovan Sadiq. I got the Queen, Demetra K. And I am the 5-star general. Say, man, if you're broke and you're frustrated, you might want to listen to my man sitting down at the bottom right. Walter, the money man, is in the building. And tonight he gonna help you with a budget. I don't know how you can be broke nowadays, but it is what it is. I guess you're still waiting on that stimulus. We're finna get to it. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. As usual, you are the best audience in the world. There's no doubt about that, and we appreciate you taking the time out to tune in with us every night like you do. I want to start off by saying that I think in a week or maybe a week and a half, we will have Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher on the program. We had a couple of hiccups today, but we solved it. But Lizzie will be coming on the program. I want to start off by saying, of course, we know INFAC is coming to Lafayette, Louisiana this Saturday for a peaceful formation and demonstration. The brother Grandmaster Jay reached out to Clay Higgins, or Clay Higgins reached out to Jay. They had a phone call. And Clay today got a little upset about the fact that Jay may have recorded the call and decided he's not going to meet with him. He's not going to apologize publicly. I won't say too much about it, but the only thing is I'll say what my mom used to teach me is when somebody show you who they are, you better believe it. You better believe it. So I still think we're going to have a grand day. Today, I don't know if y'all knew I hung out with Chris and the wife, and while they collected stuff for the people in Lake Charles that were affected by the hurricane. Unity 7, they did a good job. Got a big old party bus going down there to drop this stuff off tomorrow. So it was great to hang out in the hood and be with some real cats. So Donovan, what's going on, my friend?
All right, you guys have heard. Welcome to the War Zone. Another great night. I hope you guys got your pen and paper to take these notes, because I know I do. But in the news today, as you guys are aware, President Donald Trump doubled down on his statement. He will not renounce white supremacy. And, again, just like the general just said, once people show you who they are, you better take stock of it. Also in the news, that's very important today, the Attorney General of Kentucky has been ordered to release the transcripts by Friday. And he has put in a junction to get more time. And when they do that, is so that he said the excuse for that is so that he can redact personal information and all this other stuff, which is total BS. What it is he wants to doctor the transcript so that it meets the narrative of what he was saying. So you guys be on the lookout and aware of that, because there are some serious repercussions with that. Because if the Attorney General of any state is going to sit up there and lie in a press conference, his law license can be revoked, all kinds of stuff, because it's whatever that thing is for the lawyers. It's really bad when lawyers do bad things against the law. So that's something to look at. And also here in local politics as well, they're saying that the polls are tightening. So your vote is going to be very, very pivotal. You guys, we've got to get Trump out of there. Oh my God, if we don't, the world's going to enter, if he gets in another 4 years, we're not going to make it. I do believe the world will go on if Trump does win another term. But common political sense is, if somebody asks you if you support white supremacy, the answer is no. Just say no.
Well, let me say this here about this real quick, Demetra, that I think the Attorney General in Kentucky don't need to worry about his law license being revoked. Motherfucker, your hood pass been revoked. We don't want you back. Stay your ass over there with them people.
So, hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night edition of the War Zone, where you guys know that we have Mr. Walter Coulter here, our money guru, financial expert here. In just a second, he's going to be talking to us about budgeting. Budgeting is important. I know there's a lot of apps and stuff out there, but you still need to know what to do and what to budget for when you are doing participating on some of those apps. But, just really quickly, people are still going through it here in the United States as far as this pandemic is concerned. Congress has still failed to pass a stimulus package. The Democrats want to pass a stimulus package of $2.2 trillion. The Republicans are like, we're looking at about $1.6 trillion. There are a lot of entities, especially the airline industry. They are depending on a stimulus package, another infusion of cash to help them keep afloat. As of after today, tens of thousands of airline employees will be furloughed or laid off due to the stimulus package not being passed. And of course, that, bringing it to the American people. So we know that there's a moratorium on evictions in a lot of places in the United States, but a lot of the moratoriums have actually expired on utility bills. And so there's places like Georgia where people are in the dark or do not have any electricity. Some people have been in that situation since June. And the people who are fortunate enough to have their bills furloughed, if you will, the amount when it does come due, they say most people still will not be able to pay it and will be facing getting their utilities completely shut off. And so this whole pandemic has been a financial nightmare for everybody. Also, and I'm leading up to something, Disney is going to lay off about 23,000 employees worldwide. Nobody wants to go to a Disney theme park. The COVID is running rampant. And so that's just, a few of the things that are harming people. And so it is important to know how to budget and what to budget for, especially when cash is a little low. And so Walter is going to give us some tips on what we should be budgeting for, what should be at the top of the list, and what should be at the bottom as far as what should we spend the least amount of money on. And so, Walter, what say you?
Can you hear me? Well, I should turn. Well, so I have a list of about 10 things I'm going to go over. So I'm going to try and stay on topic. As my son's going to text me to death until I say okay. So first of all, we're waiting on the stimulus package, and I have a feeling that it's coming. I think there's too many people that are hurting. And you guys, here's what I always say about money: is money matters. Disney came out and said that they were going to lay off people because in California, basically California is a shitty place to do business. That's what they said in their release. So the governor's not going to work with us. So we're just going to lay people off. That's what they said if you look at the release. So Goldman Sachs is laying off. The airlines are laying off. How is it all of a sudden now that these big companies are laying off and they're making moves that now all of a sudden Pelosi and Mnuchin are back at the table?
Okay, can I answer that for you real quick? What it is they're putting a gun to the American taxpayer's head and saying, give us our money or we're going to lay all of these people off. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's smart. It's what we talked about when I first started participating in the show, is that like politicians, power can be bought, period. Right. So now it's United and all these airlines and Goldman Sachs and all these companies are saying, hey, okay, we are going to protect our pocket at all costs. Right. Goldman Sachs, and I'd have to ask my son how many employees they have. He's downstairs. So they laid off 400 people. Here's a company with thousands and thousands of employees, laid off 400 people. And these guys have billions of dollars. Now, could the CEO and some of the shareholders, give up a little bit of money to keep those 400 people on board? Absolutely. But it just shows you that they're not willing to give up their money, right? Because I guarantee you, Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, at least he was the last time I checked, is if they keep those 400 people, he's not going to have to give back his boats, his yachts, his catamarans, and all that stuff. But they are making a point. Don't F with our money. So us, or as other races like to say, you people need to get your shit together, right? It is, okay, they have 38,000 employees, almost 40,000 employees, and then they go 400. That's just a statement. Hey, by the way, we're paying attention. So I always tell people to focus on the money first. I don't really care. Like, I watched the debate. After watching the debate, I just like threw my hands up. We got two. And you guys, I want to be careful, but like, didn't it look like the old powers that be? Right? You have two old dudes in their 70s approaching the crypt, babbling over making decisions for the American people. Do you know what the other countries are saying about us? And honestly, you guys, I thought this was Joe Biden's chance to shine a little bit. I mean, I think he was able to get some stuff out, but it didn't seem like he had a lot to say, right? So after watching it, I said, I don't care who wins. We're doomed. Here's what we can do, though, is we can make moves with our money. And so regardless of who's in power, we are going to be okay based on some of our moves. So here's number one. And is okay, can I just get to it? Go ahead.
I think Gary had something to say before you.
No, I just want to know if y'all want me to interpret for him tonight.
Okay.
You know, so regular people can understand. I know he be using them big words sometimes.
Sure.
Well, they're not big words. Well, okay, let me shut up. Because
all he said, y'all, was you know, your money ain't straight, your chippers ain't right. You need to sit your black ass there and listen to what he finna say.
Yeah, so you guys look at it this way. First of all, one thing I've been dealing with some clients this week, and I've been telling them to consolidate. Here's how I pay my bills, and I'm trying to, I'm even trying to fine tune it more and more and more. What I do is I put everything on a credit card, everything that I can. Everybody that will take a credit card, I put on it. And then what I do at the end of the month is I just pay that one credit card. So when you look at my old bank statement, there was like 30, 40, 50, 60 transactions on my bank statement. Now there's like 4, right? My health insurance, I don't know if they take a credit card. I'm about to find out. My auto insurance, which was coming out of my bank account, I moved to my credit card. You guys listen to me. So now every time I pay my auto insurance, I get points, right? So for those of you that are using your debit card, like, stop doing that. And you realize if you make a mistake on a debit card, let's say somebody gets a hold of your debit card and they suck $4,000 out of your checking account, you're out of $4,000 for the most part. If Capital One or Discover, whoever it is, if somebody fraudulently gets a hold of your credit card, you have a better chance of getting your money back. Plus, not to mention, you guys, when you use a credit card, do you have to pay the bill right away? You have time, right? Some of you guys in business, you're familiar with net 10, net 15, net 30. You buy something and you have, 10 to 30 days to pay it off. So if somebody gets a hold of my credit card and uses it fraudulently, I know that I have time to deal with it because I don't have to pay for it right now. So here is, again, you guys, and I know some people, I say shit and it just puff the magic dragon, it's gone, but do this. Consolidate your bank statements. Like those of you who have 4 or 5 bank accounts, it's not making you richer, it's actually making you poor, right? There's no wealth in having 12 bank accounts, right? So what I tell people, get a bank account, a personal bank account, and then if you have a business bank account. And then for each one of those, what would make sense is to have a credit card. And you put everything on the credit card. And so now you have the ability, because before you pay, you guys listen to me, before you pay the credit card, you can go through and say, nope, that's not my charge, I'm not paying that. If you use your bank account, the money's already out of the bank. If you use your credit card, the money's still sitting in your bank, right? So now you can use the money on the credit card, but still have the money in the bank. And if stuff gets rough, you could use the money in the bank. I'm not saying to use it madness, but I'm saying if you had another, let's say for instance, I put everything on a credit card, right? And I normally pay it at the end of the month, but for whatever reason, I wanted to stretch it out 90 days. I could just start giving them $100 a month. And I could use that other cash if I had an opportunity of the lifetime or something came up that I wanted to invest in, I could do that. You guys, that's how banks do it. So if your credit is jacked up, you can do a secure credit card. You can walk into the bank, like some of you guys, you get paid, right? So let's say you get your paycheck is $2,000 for the week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is. You could take that $2,000, go online to secure credit cards. You get Capital One Citibank, you get Orchard Bank, First Premier, you get several banks. Try and use the biggest banks like Citigroup, Capital One, the big banks. You could go online, they will take that $2,000 out of your checking account and you'll have a secure credit card. And then when you get the credit card, you can use it. So what that's going to mean is your bills are going to have to wait 2 or 3 weeks. Right? Question?
So I'm just going to interpret it for you. What he's telling you is, if you ain't got no credit card, go over to Ace Check Cash and get your credit card. And when you got to pay your bills, put some money on it, and then you can pay all your bills from that one credit card.
Well, I'm not a fan of the Ace Checking. I know they're popular, at least maybe out that way. But you guys, your bank, if you walk into, if you have an account with Wells Fargo, they'll give you a secured credit card, as will Bank of America. You guys, these banks, they want to do this because if I'm going to open a secure credit card, if I keep the balance lingering, I'm still going to pay interest on the money. So the banks go, oh, we're going to give them a credit card with their own money and we get to charge them interest. Come on, y'all. They're cool with that. And for those of you who maybe find an issue with that, I think it's okay to do that because you can still build your credit. You guys, there's something called an investment, right? You have to look at investing like this. And I'm going to divert and then I'll come back to step 2.
Real quick, Walter, real quick. Somebody has a question. Are credit unions better than banks, in your opinion? I'm a credit union user because I get better rates than I do a bank. And then I'm pissed off at banks for crashing the economy, which costs a lot of people jobs. So what's your opinion on
I don't really care. I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter. I don't know what the difference is between banks and credit cards. Banks and credit unions. I think credit unions tend to be more for an organization, like somebody in the military, like a Navy Federal or something like that. Right. So, but I don't think about it. What I do when I do banking is I look for the biggest bank that is in the most places. Right. Some people say, oh, my credit union will give me a toaster or they'll give me a little bit more interest. Well, if you got $2,000 in the bank, what is 0.00000.1 versus 0.0000.2? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and also a credit union it isn't really for profit where a bank is. So you get a lot of fees against the banks versus credit union. Since you're a member and it's a community credit union, they don't charge you for everything that you do at the credit union. So, speaking as a military person, it's the APRs are better compared to, let's say, Bank of America or Wells Fargo or something like that. Those people are for profit, whereas the credit union is not for profit. So,
absolutely. So, what I do, use the biggest bank, like especially you guys, if you travel overseas. So let's say, for instance, right, you are in, I was in Thailand. No, was it Thailand? I don't know, one of those places. I was in Bali. And I lost my debit card in a machine in Bali at the Monkey Zoo. I don't know what the hell I was doing at the Monkey Zoo, but so I went and then I went to go say something to my girlfriend. I went, oh shit, I left my ATM and the credit and my card in the ATM machine in a foreign country and in a small foreign country on top of that. So I called Wells Fargo. They go, oh, no worries. Would you like us to send you another card? We'll freeze everything. I got on the phone with them real quick. What in the hell? It's like, but oh, hey. So that's what you want to do, is use the biggest bank possible, because that way they're everywhere and the fees are going to be less because Bank of America is everywhere, if that makes sense. What other questions do you have? And I am reading the statements here too. Bitcoin. Okay. Here's the other thing too, you guys. I hear a lot of people talking about Bitcoin and Forex and all this stuff. But what I tell people is Bitcoin, that stuff is fine, but get your money straight first. There's some of you that are in Bitcoin, or you guys are leaving. Okay, bye, Titus. So some of you guys, I mean, the parents too. So there's some people that are in Bitcoin and things like that, and you shouldn't be. You need to have enough money in cash first, right? Start with your own cash reserves. Make sure you have your life insurance and all those, your protection and cash reserves in place before you go into other stuff like that. Because honestly, I don't know anything about Bitcoin, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I do. That makes sense. And I'm trying to read these comments, but I'll let you guys do that.
So, okay. So as far as budgeting, right? Let's take something like a food budget, if you will. What are some of the things that you do in regards to shopping for groceries? And what do you suggest people do if they're a little, tight on cash? Like for me, I'm a vegan, fruits and vegetables most of the time. I don't eat meat at all, but I can eat a lot of other junk food. But so it doesn't get terribly expensive. It can, depending on the stuff that I buy. But what do you suggest? Because food is it's always essential. But when you're in a situation like we are with the pandemic, where things that people are like, am I going to pay my rent, or am I going to put food on the table? What do you suggest people do?
Okay, so first of all, when it comes to me and food, what I normally do is I shop on the outside of the aisles, number one. The stuff inside, not only, and I know, sometimes there's meat and on the outside and stuff, but like for the most part, I shop on the outside where the vegetables are and some of those things. The stuff in the middle, like the boxes and stuff like that, not only is it more expensive, it's also more treacherous to your health. So a lot of you guys have health challenges and you're spending money on doctor visits. If you would just eat better, your health costs would go down, which would reduce your food budget. Number one. Number two is I make a lot of my own foods, and I do eat out, but I try and make most of my meals on my own. Last night I made a steak dinner, and I just took some tomatoes, cheese, and avocados, and I cut them up into little squares, and I made a little salad next to a steak, and a bottle of wine that was probably $10-15. And so and a $2 candle from Walmart. So for $20 I had a candlelight steak dinner, right? And that's kind of over the top. You don't have to eat like that every day, and I don't. Sometimes I just don't eat, or I'll eat something quick. So buy your own food, or you guys, if you find yourself spending a lot of money on food, maybe look at a meal plan, where there, it might be more expensive, but sometimes if you can get your time back, having a meal plan may make sense. Here's what I mean. If you're the type of person that finds yourself eating out in the drive-thru and stuff every day, think about the time it takes you to get in the car, drive there, the gas, energy, the car maintenance to go get the food that's destroying your body. So maybe a meal plan, having food delivered, would help you, maybe give you time back. So that's what I would do for food.
So let me interpret that for y'all. What he telling you is y'all already got some of your kids playing crazy to get them checks on the first. So if you get a couple of more of them to play crazy, you could get some food stamps and you can get one of them crazy checks, and then you ain't got to worry about that. Go ahead on, Walter.
Yeah, so, you guys, we need food, but being honest, some of us that grew up, when we first grew up, we moved out on our own. When I moved out, I lived on like what appeared to be $30 a month. I had Top Ramen, which is not something you should do all the time, but food is actually fairly inexpensive, right? The Orients, people in the Orient will eat rice, brown rice, white rice, and then they tend to eat meat on the side, or they use it as a flavoring. So really, I'm not saying that you have to eat rice, but some of you guys need to eat rice, or some of us, right? So if you're really trying to build your wealth, you really need to look at what you're spending. That's why I say put everything on a credit card, and then at the end of the month, you can look at it. That makes a lot of sense. Question.
So let's see here. I just saw a question. Oh, so Denise, how you doing? You say, what about families of 3 or more? And to tie into Walter's point, there's a book called The Secrets to Oriental Wealth. I believe that's the title. And I put it in the comment section before, but it talks about a penny's worth of cereal And what that means is most Americans, when they go buy cereal, they buy a box of cereal, whether it's Raisin Bran, Fruit Loops, whatever it is, right? And so when you break the box of cereal down, you're only getting about 2 cents worth, because you're mostly paying for the packaging, you're paying for the transportation of it, you're paying for the manufacturing of it. So you're not really getting your money's worth, if that makes any sense, right? And so the book talks about how Asians will buy a big giant thing of rice, and they might make a sweet rice for in the morning for cereal, and then something for lunch, and then something for dinner. Now I know ordinarily for a lot of people, me especially, that's a lot of carbs. But the point of that is that they buy a big bag of rice for, I don't know what a big giant one is, maybe $10 at the most, and they stretch it and make a bunch of meals with it, opposed to going out and buying a bunch of packaged food. Like for me as a vegan, I say I'm doing well if most of my food comes from peels and shells and stuff like that, opposed to boxes and cans and that kind of stuff. So that's a tip for a person who has a big family. Think about the things that you can stretch and make multiple ways, different dishes out of it.
So what they basically told y'all is your kids already eating Roman noodles and the new Masterpiece cereal. So what you could do is stop taking your extra money and buying all them goddamn expensive crab legs, and you could be able to put some food in the house. That's what they're trying to tell you.
Now, you guys, here's the other thing, and Gary, I'm glad you brought that up, the crab legs. You guys, it's okay to enjoy your life. Those of you that follow me on social media, those of you that know me personally, know that I try and enjoy my life and try and do things that maybe in the past I wouldn't do, right? Like, so I find myself, like, I do like crab legs, right? Matter of fact, I got some in the downstairs. I'll do that, but sometimes I'll say, okay, I'm going to eat these, but I'm going to maybe cut back on another area. When I say cut back, I mean on like stuff you don't need, right? Like unnecessary, like car payments or things that you ever walk through your house and go, I don't need that, right? Like, I really didn't need this turtle, but I bought this turtle. He's a prop, right? So get rid of some of the things you don't need, and then enjoy your life, because you guys, you only get one life. So there's nothing wrong with enjoying your life, but just in other areas, you need to just maybe cut back. And if you go back to the thing I said, you guys, and I feel like maybe we blew over that point, is if you guys do what I say, put everything on a credit card, go to your bank and put everything on there, and then at the end of the month, pay that credit card with your one bank statement, you will see money that you'll see money that you're blowing.
What he telling y'all is, instead of going and spend all that money on them crab legs, take them extra sausages you got in the freezer and take your ass down to the nearest bayou and crab on the side of the road. That's what he telling y'all.
Or you can grab some crabs. Some of y'all in Texas, y'all could probably dig in and grab some.
Some of them already got the crabs.
Here's the other thing
real quick, when you talk about like money decisions, like those of you guys that have been on my page and stuff, if you look at my backyard, I haven't paid for fruits. I still eat vegetables, but I haven't paid for any kind of fruits in almost 2 years, because I have, banana trees back there. I planted apple trees. Now, you guys down in the South, you can drop a seed on the ground and it's going to grow. So I don't understand how people will, go and buy apples and oranges at the grocery store when you can grow it right there in your backyard.
Donovan is telling y'all, instead of growing weed in your child room, trying to grow your own weed, go grow you some motherfucking okra in your backyard.
Now, here's another point, and I'm going to speed this up in the interest of time, is accountability. You guys, get you somebody that you can be accountable to. Accountability is the running mate of progress. Here's what I mean by this. You guys, I love getting advice. Like my personal trainer, she's cheap compared to what I get, but she hit me up with the membership. She goes, it's $300 a month, and you get to work out 8 to 10 times a month. I'll do your meal plan. I'll stay with you, and I'll help you, make sure you eat everything, and I will stay with you all day. I'll text you all day, and I'll keep you moving. And I was like, ooh, $300. And I did what I hate, and I judged something, but I thought, you know what? $300, yeah, that's a lot of money. Now I'm already kind of on a decent meal plan, and I'm already paying her to train me. But like when she said it, I went, okay, I would just be paying for the accountability. Like last night, I had this ice cream bar, and I was gonna eat it. And I took a bite and I put it back. And I thought of her next to my fridge, like going, now you know you're not gonna eat that ice cream sandwich because that's 2 miles of your workout you about to give back in this ice cream sandwich. So don't do that. So accountability is huge. Get you a coach. You guys, it's okay to have, I think you should have a coach in all there. I think you should have a personal trainer or someone that helps you with food. I think you should have a financial coach, somebody do your taxes. I think you should have you guys, so everyone, you guys, we have spiritual coaches, right? So I think you should have a coach in all area. I mean, think about what you pay in health insurance and how often do you even talk to that coach, right? Some of you spend hundreds of dollars. I've had my health insurance for years and I have not used it. It's insane, but yet I'm paying for that. So I think it makes sense to have someone be accountable. I talked about having one bank for one business and one bank for your personal, right? Here's some 2021 moves. You guys ready for this? So those of you that follow me on social media, last week I was in Joshua Tree, right? It's about an hour and a half from where I'm at by the Ontario airport. And what it is, Joshua Tree is this huge national forest. It's the deal, right? So what's happening is people are going out there for like 15, 13, 20, 50,000, whatever the number is. And they're buying land with 5 acres on it that already, like, a matter of fact, that's what I was doing right now. That's why I was like not really paying attention to you guys. I'm putting an offer in on the property in Joshua Tree. You have the ability to buy a piece of property and build on it. Some of these guys, they've bought these properties for $15,000 to $50,000. They've put 10 teepees, these $4,000 RVs. They put these, just you name it. And they have 10 of these rentable units and they're charging $100 to $300 a night. Do the math real quick. If you had 10, let's say you had 4 of these little raggedy ass $4,000 RVs and you were renting out at $100 a night, plus renting out the house, that's $600-700 a night. People are doing that. So we went out there and we found this couple. They spent $200,000 for the land. They put $10,000 down for the land, or 10 to 20. Something. I think they put 5% down. What's 5? So, right, whatever it is, they put down a small down payment. It's got a house on it. They have 5 acres, and they're going to build yurts and put RVs, and they're going to turn it into a profit center. You guys, these 4 people quit their job to do this project. And so I thought, we're working hard as hell, and here are these people out in the middle of nowhere, and they're building something that's going to pay all 4 of them to live there and not stress over bills. So in 2020, you guys, I think things are going to get crazy with, like, the moratorium for mortgages are going to go up. Some of you guys that haven't paid your rent in 6 months. Now, if you don't have the money to pay your rent, I get it. But those of you who aren't paying your rent because you can't get evicted, you're about to have a rude awakening. Because one of my buddies who's a lawyer, she goes, our desk is really getting full with bankruptcies. Landlords are already filing the eviction paperwork in advance. They're just sitting on their desk waiting for the moratorium. She said we have stacks of paperwork for bankruptcies and evictions already on our desk, just waiting for the moratorium to end. So there's going to be a lot of real estate on the market. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. Some of you guys who are not taking this seriously are going to be on the shit end of the stick, period. So what I want to tell you, I called one of my buddies today and I said, hey, I'm buying some property. Are you interested in helping me buy more? That's a phone call you can make. So you guys, we're not going to be 2025. We'll be like, oh, remember 2021 when the market crashed and we had all these discounts and I didn't participate? You don't have to participate in that conversation. Go ahead.
I think Gary has something to say, and then I'll come back behind him.
Okay.
I'm gonna break it down for y'all because I need you to understand what he's saying. What he's saying is, it's almost Halloween, and you need to go watch Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin, and keep your eyes fixated on Linus and his blanket. Because if you ain't paid your rent in 6 months, you're gonna be sleeping outside in the cold.
No, thank you. You know, Gary, it's funny, but there's actually a good point in that. Have you seen one of my favorite episodes of the Peanuts is Charlie Brown, the Christmas tree? Remember Charlie Brown's Christmas? They took that raggedy Christmas tree and they hooked it up. And at the end, remember they were singing how nice the Christmas tree was? That is a real estate investment episode. That is telling kids you should invest in real estate. Buy something that needs a lot of work, fix it up, and ta-da. Now, I know maybe that wasn't it, but who knows? I think Charles Schultz had a dual message in there. You can learn a lot from movies and cartoons, right? So when I'm telling, go ahead.
So do you think, in your professional opinion, that we are going to have a crash of some kind? Real estate market, I guess, is kind of looks like it's maybe there. You know, and I was listening to something earlier, and they were saying in Brooklyn, they said Brooklyn, their unemployment is that of the Great Depression levels. So, which kind of markets do you think that will crash in 2020, or if not
think
now?
About this for a second. We have 10%, 9%, 8%, whatever, unemployment. You guys, sometimes you can just walk your neighborhood and see what's coming. Think about all the restaurants that are closed, all the real estate offices that have closed, all these offices, businesses that are closed. What do you think? Where do you think those people went financially? They're still, you know, like there's a bar next to my house, Spectators. She hasn't paid her rent and now going on 4 months. And she just strong-armed the landlord and say, hey, I'll leave. What you gonna do? But like, those guys aren't paying the rents, bills aren't getting paid, and we have the moratorium and the stimulus. Like right now, if you don't want to pay your rent or your mortgage, you don't have to. So that's propping up the market.
Did you say Spectators was in trouble?
The bar next door to my house, they haven't paid their rent in 4 months.
It's a long story short. I used to work at Frito-Lay years ago, which is right down the street. And that bar was like the hub of the employees at Frito-Lay. It's been there. I started working at Frito-Lay. I'm not there anymore, but 1995, and it was there before that. And so you mean to tell me a business that has been like a pillar? I mean, it was there before the Ontario Mills and all of that. So what you mean to tell me that bar is in danger of going out of business?
The guy died, and one of the employees bought it for like nothing. The kids were like, oh, we don't want to deal with that. And the kids sold it for a song. And then the waitress or something like that bought the bar. So what happens when the coronavirus showed up, she paid her rent. Okay, keep in mind, guys, her bar has been closed for almost 6 months. She paid the rent for 3 months, so she dug in her savings, took her PPP, and she paid the rent. And then she ran out, and she just said, I'm not doing it. They're open now. You know, I was over there earlier picking up my car, and my car wasn't at Spectators. That gives you the impression I had too much to drink last night. I mean, there's a car wash across the street, and it was a lot of people there. So she's playing catch up, but you guys, there are a lot of businesses that can't do that. So all those people that aren't paying their bills right now, that aren't paying their rent and their mortgages, next year when the moratorium is up, it's going to be a shit show. Or what I think may happen is government, what they may do is do what Obama did with the HARP program, right? Where they took and they restructured. So what they may do is take those people that are behind on their rent and they may do some sort of stimulus. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I'm sure they've thought of something. If they don't do that, it's going to be a disaster. Now, if the Republicans take office, and in my opinion, Donald Trump will be president again, I think you're going to see more of that, right? I'm like, regardless of who you think is going to be president, people are less likely to make change in chaos, right? So when the World Trade Center came down, we weren't going to switch presidents. When bad things happen, the guy that's in power tends to stay there, unless it was just economic bull mess. And then, yeah, we might switch like we did with George Bush Sr. But, and you guys, that whole, you know, Black power, get out all this thing, all the power Joe Biden had is gone. Like, I hear more people of color talking crap about Joe Biden. He ain't this. He created the crime bill. Da 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 da. So, and honestly, if I have an enemy, I'd rather know where he's at. And with Donald Trump, I know he don't like Black people. I know he's about his race. And he should be, right? Honestly, if I was president, I'd be looking out for Black people first, right? So he's doing what he naturally is supposed to be doing, looking out for his race. Now, it sucks he's president.
Oh, so what he telling y'all is, if he was the president, he would take care of us. He wouldn't do us like that last knuckle that was in office.
You know, Obama was a phenomenal president. He did wonders for the office, and he did wonders for men of color. I would walk around in a suit, and people would say, "Obama, oh, look at President Obama." That's if I wore my blue with the red tie, it was a wrap. We squandered that opportunity. Black men, we effed that up. We had 8 years of somebody that looks like us in power. Not that he was going to do anything for Black people, but we could have used that to grow our businesses. I mean, I can't go out the house in a suit without somebody stepping to me. Go ahead.
So I want to say this. I'm going to ask you guys, because I hear people say that about Obama a lot. You know, it wasn't until Obama came on the national scene that people gave great respect to Obama. They saw a Black man in power, Black man in a suit. Have each and every one of y'all at least seen y'all daddy at one point in time in a suit?
I saw mine.
Have you ever seen your daddy in a suit? Have you ever seen an influential Black? Have you seen Farrakhan in a suit? I mean, so the point that I'm making is because, and I get what you're saying, Walter. I'm not trying to really go against what you're saying.
Fine.
Yeah, but a lot of times we give Obama credit for he wasn't the originator of seeing powerful Black men or respected Black men in suits. And this goes back to what Dr. Muhammad said that when he was on the show a couple of weeks ago. He says, you know, we get too wrapped up into what white people think of us, and we get wrapped up into what, you know, they're thinking in general. But you know, I just think, and I'm not saying this about you, Walter, but I just think it's a disrespect to Black men within our own lives that we see or have seen in suits on a daily basis or whatever, and say, oh, it wasn't until Obama came along that, you know, Black men were seen in that position. But I get what you're saying as far as, you know, Obama being on the national, you know, scale, I guess, really, except for when he wore that tan suit now.
Oh.
So what she said, y'all, was Obama was cleaner than a clap doctor, but he ain't did a goddamn thing.
And here's what I tell people: Obama was kind of like Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King. You can only do so much when your boss doesn't look like you. You know, people always get surprised that Gayle King is throwing shade to her race. Well, her race don't have no power, right? So, yeah. And my list, Erica, thanks for keeping that up, because my list actually, I got something on my list. But you guys, it comes, and some of you guys that I'm seeing, you know, like some of you guys on here, you know, I've spoken to a lot of you that have made moves. Like there's a lot of people on this show that have made some crazy moves. I just got off the phone. I think she tagged me, Stacey Campbell, who I met here on the show. She said, I think she bought her first stock option today, which was cool, right? Here's my other point, you guys. And a lot of these people, some of these people that are making comments have bought stock and stock options and invested. So they're actually doing the work. And that's what's key. I don't care, you guys. Civil rights is dead. Like Ruth, we call her RGB, or I think I'm saying her name right. Like civil rights, poof, they're gone. Those of you still waiting for civil rights and things that get better, we plateaued when George Floyd and all that stuff happened. That was it for us. That was it. Black people, people of color have cooled off It's all gone. Now it's just a T-shirt, a fist on a T-shirt, or Black Lives Matter, on a T-shirt. The movement is dead. And I'm not saying Black Lives Matter was my favorite movement, but I'm saying we've cooled off, right? So we're still doing the same old thing. If you don't put your money away, and you guys, it's tough because with me, I wake up and I think about money. I go to bed thinking about money. Not that just I'm hungry for it. I'm thinking about what can I do with it. And you have to get to that point, you guys. So what I'm saying is, and I keep telling you guys, is that when it comes to the stock, here's what my opinion. The stock options. Go, and I'm gonna say this for the 50th time. Open up an E-Trade account. Robinhood at this point, I don't care. Neither one of them are paying me. Go in, and what I told Stacy today is I said, go, and she actually sent me a recommendation, and I bought it, which was pretty cool. I bought her recommendation. She sent me something for the airline. The airlines are getting crushed, and she's been watching the show. And I always say, buy the stock options until next year. So I'm buying March, June. I'm sorry?
Okay, we have an echo.
Oh.
Gary.
Kill the echo, man. So, now we disappeared altogether. Oh, is that better? Oh, it's just me. I can hear myself. So I'm buying the stock options until next year, March and June, because I believe we'll have a vaccine by at least March, at least June, right? I think we have a vaccine now. We do, because if you check the news today, now they're reporting that some people had side effects, headaches. One guy was shaking so much he chipped his tooth. You guys, that is liberal left. I sound like Donald Trump. That is liberal left-wing nonsense. Every time the markets get moving, every time we get good news, we have somebody that comes. You guys, I tell some people like MSNBC, I watch it once in a while, but like the liberal media, they are killing us. Here's the thing I like about Fox, and there's not a lot to like about Fox, but it's sometimes you have to just get to the money. So what? Dude, there's 30,000 people that took the vaccine trial, or 15,000, whatever it is, and some of them got headaches and one chipped a tooth. What about the people that are dying from the virus? You see, and then at the very end of the article, and they know Negroes aren't going to go this far, to the bottom of the article, where the guy says, oh, you know what? Yeah, it was minor, but I'd rather deal with a fever for 6 hours versus die from the coronavirus. So, and I understand a lot, and I know you hate Fox. I don't like them either. But like some of us, we need to separate the money from our skin color. Like Fox News, yeah, it's shitty sometimes, and I get it. But like I'm trying to find out what the enemy is saying. So I watch Fox News sometimes just to find out what's going on and what's going on with the money. If you watch CNN and MSNBC too long, you will become depressed, right? So I like CNBC, and that's owned by MSNBC. It's still a liberal station, but at least they're talking about money, right? So, and you guys, Joanne, I'm looking at your comment. True, buy stocks and things you need, but what I'm saying is also if you're going to participate in the options, do it for the future. And a lot of the things we need, like Amazon and some of those stocks are so high. And Apple stock, I don't know how Apple stock is so high. Well, actually, I do, because everybody's on their iPhones, right? One of my clients, I just went through her statement, and she was spending $200-300 a month on Apple Store and didn't even know it, from all the subscriptions and all the things that Apple, that they charge you for. So, Donovan, you're saying the airlines. You guys, when it comes to airlines, I like Southwest, Delta, and United. I'm not a big fan of American because they have a lot of debt. But even if you bought American Airlines, I think next year, come March, June, I do think they'll do better. So when you buy that, go ahead.
I just want to say, somebody who's in aviation, even though the airlines is taking a hit, there's gonna be an airlines, okay? So, you know, it ain't like we're gonna get rid of all our airlines. We will bail out a national airline if we have to. It's just a matter of which one. The most successful being Southwest. Southwest is gonna take a hit. You just gotta ride it out. You just gotta ride it out. There is gonna be an airline, period.
Here's the thing: when you're thinking about a company, even the cruise ships who are figuring out that not being a US-based company is hurting them. The cruise ships are entangled. I sound like Jada. Entangled. It's funny how that wasn't really a word in the Black community until Jada turned into a freak. So it's the cruise ships are entangled with so many other things. It's not just the cruise lines. It's like we went to St. Martin and it was like, whoa, 2 big giant cruise ships sitting there. And all those restaurants by the cruise ships were empty, right? Ensenada, Mexico is kind of quiet because the cruise ships aren't bringing in hundreds of thousands of passengers on a regular basis. So cruise ships, airlines are going to get crushed, but next year I think they will do better. So that's why, and you guys, if you guys are investing in when you make an investment, you should be looking long-term anyways. That's why I tell you to go. Yeah, Spirit is ghetto, Donovan, I agree, but can I say something that's kind of mean and deep to go? Spirit Airlines is ghetto, but they are profitable. You know why? Because ghetto people will spend their money. It don't matter.
Somebody's in aviation. Okay, when you go on these other planes, the legacy planes, Delta, United, whatever, what do they promise you? Oh, it's the experience of flying. I remember back in the day, you had to dress up to get on an airplane because most back then,
yes,
we were taking buses back then. Most Black folks were. So now, okay, Spirit uses a lot of air buses. Okay, as somebody who flies airplanes, let me tell you something. That is literally an air bus. There is no TV on there, nothing. Just seats. They pack you in there and they get you to the next destination.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if it was a bicycle in the air. Me and my daughter flew round trip somewhere last month for $100 for the both of us on Spirit. Okay, so I'm one of those people. Like I'm not finna fly first class. You know why I'm not gonna pay to fly first class? Because the plane is gonna get there at the same damn time. I'm not gonna spend $200-400 extra so I could everybody can see me in first class and all of that. Spirit is ghetto. It is ghetto as hell. But you know what? I bring my own snacks. I buy my own drink. And have all that money in my pocket. See, this is I'm pretty frugal, and Walter knows I'm pretty frugal.
Well, the thing is, it's ghetto, but as a stockholder, which I am, it's profitable. That's the point.
Yeah. And as a person who flies, Spirit, that's the first place I go is a Spirit because I'm not trying to spend a whole bunch of money, getting back and forth. But I think we need to stop getting wrapped up on that. Hell, I flew Spirit. The last time I flew in it, it was ghetto. Okay, when I say ghetto, it was people was doing the most, but I was like, that's okay. I saved a whole lot of money on the ghetto ass airplane too.
Yeah, and some of you have ghetto family. You don't care about that.
What they saying is, hold on, Walter. What Demetra just said is stop trying to ball on a budget when you fly. Get your ass on Spirit, go sit on the toilet, and you, just like Kevin Hart, can have your dog sucked into the motherfucking engine.
So, yeah, I know, and right now we're having a good time. Here's what I wanted to show you, Erica. This is point number 10. I have a life plan. Now it's erratic. I mean, when I say erratic, it's out of control. It's 32 pages. And I have all my goals, dreams, my quotes, everything. And I read this. It's so ratchet, but I read this. I read it this morning, last night, and I read it and I go through it, and it has all my things on it. Like a goal without a plan is like going to Africa on a jet ski. I have all these things that I tell myself. Results create swag, right? I have like probably 100 quotes that I created that I tell myself on a regular basis. I'd rather be hated in a beach house than loved on a boathouse. Here's what I mean by that. You can be mad at me and hate on me. Do you realize for those of you who have great ideas that your friends and family will laugh at you first? But when you do well, they will come to you. I promise you, they will come back to you. You just have to have patience. So what I'm saying is, you guys, right? Some of you guys read your Bible verses every day, but don't have a verse on you. What's in the Bible of, Dimitri K or the NCO? I always want to say that, or the NCO, right? Gary, what's in your Bible? So you should have a here's something else I wrote. Don't go down.
What Walter meant to say when he asked me that is I don't read the slave manual.
Well,
he's talking about your personal Bible. I was like, oh Lord.
I don't read the slave manual. I'd rather read Playboy.
Well, yeah. I mean the Bible for you. I think, like I said, I tell myself, don't go down with the ship. The person that said that is dead. So be careful who you take advice from. You guys, I don't have all the answers financially, but I do know that I'm continually trying to make investments. Like right now, we're buying land in Mexico and then Joshua Tree. And, and it seems crappy because you're spending money that you want to do something else with, or you feel like you're leveraged, right? There's a good movie with Richard Gere. It's called, oh my God, he's VC or something like that. Anyways, oh my God, I can't remember the movie. You can Google it. He's on Amazon. But it shows the stress that an executive or an investor goes through, right? Like Jeffrey Bezos in 1999, 98 was stressed. That's why he's bald-headed. But it worked out. So you need to have your life written down. Yeah, and that's true, April. People laugh and then also, oh, he had a nice car. Oh, he's traveling. We've been working at this, like Eddie Murphy said, I never left. I was just Shrek for a minute, but I never left the scene, right? So, and then they're mad because he got a white woman, which I will not talk about tonight, right?
Speaking of personal phrases, if you will, we got a couple more minutes left here. We'll all give our closing arguments. Tells you guys what my frame of mind is. Our closing statements, rather. My mom used to always say, nothing beats a fail but a try. So you'll never know, unless you try, unless you ask. So I had to put my car in the shop. And, I'm one of those people, and just a side note, I like to shop black first. But I went to a black mechanic and he never got back to me. So I had to take my car to the dealership. Okay, I ain't going to beat him up now. He never got back to me. So I had to take my car to the white man.
I was busy, Demetra. I was busy. I was in the simulator.
It wasn't you. I had to take my car to the white man. And so I said, you know what? We always ask our people for the homie hookup. So guess what I did? I asked the dealership for a homie hookup. He told me the price. I was like, damn, can I get the homie hookup? He said, yeah, you come here quite a bit. We'll give you a hookup. And he did. But if I would have never asked, I would have never got the hookup. So nothing beats a fail but a try. If you don't try, you'll never know. So.
And that's it. And be okay making mistakes, but you guys listen to people that are doing it in the fight, right? You guys, we are as a race, and I'm going to switch here and keep, take it to, because this is basically the show is, about Black empowerment. We need to hurry up, you guys. And for you Black men, I am not going to stop harping on you. Get your shit together. My God, and let's stop letting Tyler Perry represent us. Do you realize if every Black man would just you don't have to be balling. You don't have to have all this stuff. Being a Black man in America has a lot of challenges. Out the womb, you have challenges. But there's things we could do. You guys just put a little bit away. And, and Black men, I understand we got to talk to our wives, but we should have some authority. It's okay to do that. Right. And until I keep saying it, until we as Black men pick up the ball, our race is going to suffer. Period. And we're getting diluted. Right. I know I've had my share of responsibility of diluting the race pigment wise. Right. But that was in the past.
So what Walter is telling y'all Y'all that's going out there in them interracial relationships, you're gonna have to go meet that young lady's father and say, "I's the pappy."
And we need to hurry up now. 2020 is a crappy year for those people that aren't ready for it. Next year, I think, is going to be a phenomenal year financially for people that are ready for it, right? You know, like we're buying some property right now. It seems crazy to try and buy stuff now, but I know in the future it's going to be better. And so those of you that are prepared, it's going to be good times. So, anyways.
I'm gonna stop playing. I mean, everything y'all said was right on the money. I think a lot of us dudes, we need to get our stuff together. You need to get your money right. I mean, if your money ain't right, man, then do what you need to do to get it right. I think Walter can back me up on this. You don't have to be rich to end up wealthy. You just have to be smart. You just got to be smart with your money. You don't need a whole bunch of money to end up wealthy. You hear them stories, they not lying. Oh, I started with one truck. HEB grocery stores in Houston started with one little bitty store inside of their house. You have to do what you have to do to get your business in order. But you brothers, y'all really need to come on with it, man. Get your stuff in order, man, so you can represent. Because if not, then you're gonna still be at the club every Friday night waiting for that girl that's hanging around when they hit the 2 o'clock and play the last song. I call them late night hype. You ain't gonna get no good woman, man. You're gonna be looking for that trash that like the $40 in the club.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's the beer goggle date.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donovan, you remember Club Metro?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't see it. Hey, but you know, as we go, a lot of people, you know, have excuses of why they can't start, I can't invest. You got a lot of people say, you've got these apps now that where you can invest $5, $3, work your way toward it. There's no excuse for you not to get into the game, especially now because you're not working. Most of us aren't working. You're not doing anything. You got to take advantage of the time to study and really get into this stuff. Don't waste Walter's time if you're not ready to jump in it. Last week he said it's gonna. If you got $200 right now, you need to make your moves right now and invest that $200. Now, some of you guys.
A phone call from somebody. Yeah, I don't see it on here tonight.
Okay.
See, Cash at me. It was like, you said you can make that money work, and we've been in communication. I'll leave her. I won't mention her name. She doesn't give me permission to bring her up. But we made some crazy moves with her $200. She joined my membership at cornucopia.com/register. And I gave her some advice that probably saved her $5,000 and will save her a fortune moving forward and will improve her life. And she's a member. And so, anyways, yeah, you can take $200 and get advice or get started anyways, or I don't know. I just think, and she spent, you know, and I said that, Donovan, thanks for bringing that up. I did say that, and she called me on it. She goes, you said $200, what's your Cash App? I was like, just join the membership. And I walked her through her divorce. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I said I've been divorced, and here's all the things that you need to ask for in a divorce, right? Custody asks for everything, physical, soul, because the more custody you have, regardless of how much time you spend with him, the more money you get. If he or she has a pension, 401k, ask for half of everything. Make sure if you are married and getting a divorce, make sure that you require the judge to make them have life insurance. You guys, if the person that's paying you child support dies, where's your child support come from? Right? If you're going to leave his ass, you're going to leave her, make sure they have life insurance. So if they die, the child support keeps on coming. And on and on and on. Those little things like that. You know what? You can do what's called the forensic accounting, where the courts, they will subpoena all the banks and everything and make them tell them what you got. This is all the stuff I learned in divorce. And unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of the table at that moment.
So what he telling y'all, and then we're gonna go to final thoughts. You got to know who your baby daddy is. You just can't put the baby on anybody and think you're gonna get some child support.
Yeah. I mean,
Final thoughts, my friend.
Yeah, like I said, we got to start making moves. I mean, now's the time. I mean, it doesn't make sense. We can buy all this weed and all this other stuff and smoke it up and have nothing. We could buy this weed and all this other stuff and have nothing to show for it tangibly, $200, $300 a month. So why don't we do something different and have something tangible and leave a legacy for our children? Again, I was taking notes tonight, and I'm going to tell you guys, there's no excuse for you not to get into the money game. There's no excuse not to get stocks, $5, $10, $12. Work your way up to it. It can be done. I mean, it is a small investment. We're not asking you to put $50,000 down and then you're wiped out. Hey, $5. Start right there. Start where you are.
That's it.
And I'm gonna just say this. And speaking of Cash App, you guys, Warzone has a Cash App, Warzone Show, $ Warzone Show. If you feel so the need to do so, and you just want to help us out here at the Warzone, please visit the Cash App. There you go, right there. It's just Warzone Show, not the, but Warzone Show. So $ Warzone Show. So anyway, so what I was going to say is I watched a good movie today called Social Dilemma. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It is on Netflix. It is a very, 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 very good and insightful movie, documentary that talks about social media and how it affects us and what it takes from us as human beings. And so I say all of that to say, you guys, check it out, first of all. But I say all that to say is if we spend a lot of time logging off from social media, then we'll start to make more money because we're not continuously plugged into what everybody else is doing. That's what I try to do. I try to, be logged off until I get everything that I need to get done. I got my business that I'm, running and trying to, gain more business. So I can't do that if I'm always on social media. I like to read a lot because when I come before you guys, I want to have some information in my mind, but I can't do that by always being on social media. We know a lot of times on social media, you get a lot of misinformation. And so go see for yourself. And, just logging off every once in a while, that will help you be more productive. And my last point, somebody mentioned life insurance. So for you women out there, or even for you men, okay, you get married to somebody, you don't have life insurance, but his mama got life insurance on him. So he ends up dying. What happens 99.9% of the time in those cases? The wife wants to fight with the mama and tell the mama, well, you need to give me some of that life insurance money because that was my husband and this, that, and the other. And the mama will say, well, hell, I've had this little boy insured since he was a baby. This is my money. So the point that I'm making is the mama should have life insurance on him and you should have life insurance on him too, because you can't make that lady give you nothing after she puts him in the ground.
Let me say this. I'm going to turn it to Gary for a second. You guys, life insurance. You can get life insurance, some of you for $1 million for $30, $40 a month. Some of you can get life insurance for $20 a month. You guys, listen to me. I'm 50 years old. For $72, I have one of my insurances as a term policy for $72, which can be considered halfway to being old. I pay $72 for $1 million policy to make sure if I die that my daughter doesn't end up on the pole. Period. You could do that. Some of you guys get paid $20, $30 a month, and I'll say, yo, get your life insurance. I need to talk it over. Who in the hell do you need to talk to spend $20 to leave your family $1 million or $500? Some of you guys have 15, 20, 30. You know what? My mom died and we share the same mama. And she would joke, when I'm going, y'all just drop me off, drop me in the ocean. And so we went to her funeral. I took off work. My sister took off work. My brother took off work. We all took off work. So regardless of what it takes to bury you, what does it cost for them to take off work for a week or two? What does it take for them to buy food, hotels? What does it take to pick up your daddy from the airport and drop his crazy ass off? Like, what does it take? And then what does it take emotionally for you to get over the fact that your mom or dad is no longer with you? or your husband or your kid or your dog or whatever it is. Does that make sense? So in closing, you guys, God damn it, stop with the madness. As a human being, if you can, some of you can't get it physically. I understand because of health conditions. But if you can get life insurance and you don't have it, you are a piece of shit. Period. End of story. I just wanted to say it so Gary didn't have to translate it for me.
Yeah, and real quick, for those that say they can't get insurance, credit unions will give you a $2,000 insurance or something like that. And if you want to increase that insurance, even though it's term, if you want to increase that insurance, and you remember that credit union, they, $10 or whatever it is, you just add $10 and they take it out of your account every month. So that's another good ploy.
You know who else to give it to you? And they're not plugging me. AAA, if you at Auto Club of America, will give you life insurance without even taking your blood and any of that stuff. Now, I'm only saying if you can't get it. I know I had a cancer scare. That wasn't a cancer scare. I didn't have cancer, but like my insurance company thought I had it. And so they declined me, and AAA sent me a thing in the mail. Said, you have $300,000 life insurance. Just sign here, press hard 5 copies. And I signed it. Now I have a bunch of life insurance, but I'm saying there's ways to get it, you guys. And yeah, term is shit, and I have multiple life insurance policies, but I'm talking to the people that are financially struggling, like I can't afford it. Yeah, term isn't the answer, but it's better than nothing.
So next Thursday, I think we found our topic. Gary's trying to get in there. We're going to talk about life insurance, the importance of having life insurance inside and out, different scenario stories. I was a life insurance agent, got horror stories for you for days. So, Gary?
What they trying to tell y'all
AARP, that's funny.
is you got insurance on your phone, but not on your life. That's what they telling y'all. You put insurance on your iPhone, but not on your life. And also Walter's trying to make you understand, eventually you will be an entrepreneur if you don't have insurance. Because you will be selling fish plates and everything else to bury your people.
Yeah.
I promise you. I bet you'll be hustling then.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Gary crazy. So anyway,
it's true though. Cheers, you guys.
So anyway, you guys, we're out of here. We will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we'll talk about something. You guys, please have a great rest of the day. And again, if you guys would please go to $ Warzone Show to show your appreciation. And as we appreciate you guys, we will see you guys tomorrow. Are we gonna go get some music?
No, my phone died.
Oh, okay. Well,
I probably didn't have to pay my insurance on it.
I'll do it. That's the Halloween. You know,
that Michael Myers movie. That Michael Myers.
We can sing our way up. I'll sing our way up out of here, man.
Okay, come on.
Okay, I'm gonna go slow, and y'all gonna catch it. And then y'all gonna be able to sing it with me. Out there in America, you're gonna be able to sing. Joe Biden gonna hit you with the dick. 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 Till tomorrow, man.